YouTube, this is King Kaiba coming at you today with a Agent's deck profile. This deck is kind of a little bit anti-meta because it's got a lot of removal, potential, and it's got some lockdown stuff to it. So, without further ado, let's get started. So, start off the deck list with 3 Master Hyperion because he's pretty much a free special summon if you already have an Agent on the field or something. So he's really easy to get out, and he's got a lot of removal. Stuff like Banish the Light Fairy to destroy anything on the field. 2 Christia, lock out your opponent from special summons, because Christia only allows no special summons at all. Got triple Uranus. Uranus is a free special summon and he's a tuner, so you can go for your synchro plays if you want. Triple Jupiter, getting back like banished agent monsters, kind of recycling materials. Triple Venus, because you want to get out Mystical Shine Ball, so you can go into, low level synchro plays if you want. And maybe a Gachi. Running 3 Earth. Earth's your search of the deck. You normal summon to add any agent monster from your deck to your hand, and if Sanctuary in the Sky is on the field, you can search for Master Hyperion. And it's also a tuner, so you can go for more synchro plays. You got 3 Mystical Shine Balls for Venus. Just pay 1,500 or whatever, get a Gachi and maybe like a rank 7 or something, or a level 7 synchro. 2 Zeratius, Herald of Heaven, because this guy's your search for Sanctuary in the Sky. And he's also 2,100 attack beat stick, kinda, like if you already have Sanctuary in the Sky or something, you could just put him on the field for monster presence. And 1 Honest. A light deck would never be complete without an Honest, because you always have to have at least some kind of hand trap, whether it be, Effect Veiler or something, but I feel Honest would go really great in this deck, because it's all light monsters. Now for spells, we're running triple Sanctuary in the Sky. Sanctuary in the Sky is your field card. It helps you with special summons from Uranus and stuff. And this guy keeps battle damage to you from destruction of like fairy monsters and stuff, which is the entire deck. Triple Valhalla. Valhalla is a free special summon if you control no monsters. This is a really nice card for getting out Christia first turn and kind of locking out your opponent from doing anything. The only bad thing is if your opponent top decks a Dark Hole or something, which would be pretty bad, but nobody really runs that anymore in the meta. To round up the spells, we got 1 Book of Moon. Book of Moon's kind of like a little bit of like a negate attack or something, or maybe your opponent's making a synchro play, you could just flip your opponent's monster face down to prevent it. Now onto the traps. We've got Triple Divine Punishment, Sanctuary in the Skies on the field, negates anything, destroys it. It's a really awesome card. Triple Mirror Force, if you want to get rid of your opponent's monsters, this is a way to go, kind of like, because if your opponent's more like a full-on attacker, tries to get every bit of damage in as possible, then Mirror Force is the way to go, because you can pretty much blow up your opponent's field of monsters with this card, so I feel running 3 is pretty good. 2 Breakthrough Skill, getting rid of opponent's effects, because Breakthrough Skill just negates an effect for a turn, and you can also use it on your turn when it's in the grave, which is really nice. We got 1 of Bottomless Trap Hole, because it's at 1, and it's kind of a staple, because this card's really great for getting rid of special summon monsters, or any summon monster. And round up the deck list, we got a Torrential Tribute. Torrential Tribute's kind of more like removal stuff. If you have no monsters, or you have like 1 monster that you kind of don't really want on the field, and your opponent has like a full monster card zone, then this is a really great card to use. Now, onto the extra deck, and before I go into this, I've said before that this needs a lot of work, but I feel like it's pretty good where it is right now, but I feel like it could be a little bit better, but here we go. So we've got 1 Ancient Sacred Wyvern. This guy's pretty good. He gains attack equal to how many life points you are ahead of your opponent, and he loses attack equal to how many life points behind your opponent. He's a pretty good card if you're like ahead of the game, which you'd probably use like last, like towards the end of the game, because he'd be like a 6,000 attack beat stick at that point. Then we've got Lightning Warrior. Lightning Warriors, if your opponent has like a lot of draw power, you can deal a lot of damage to him, because this deals 300 damage for each card in your opponent's hand when you destroy a monster, and he's a 2,400 attack level 7, so that's pretty good. Then we've got Ancient Fairy Dragon, just kind of like another level 7 synchro that you can go into that's really good. Crimson Blader negates any kind of level 5 or higher summon your opponent's next turn after this destroys an opponent's monster by battle. So your opponent won't want to play any monsters his next turn, because your opponent's going to want to get like more monsters and stuff on the field. So Crimson Blader is a good card to use. Light End Dragon, always a good level 8 to use if you're going to be playing anything synchro based, because Light End Dragons, he requires a tuner and a light tuner and non-light tuner monster, which is, it's really good for this deck, because this deck's got a lot, like, only light monsters except for Uranus, but he's a tuner, which is really good. So Light End Dragon's always like kind of a staple. Avenging Knight Parshath, defense position, monster removal kind of thing. He can switch battle positions, which is really nice. And then for XYZs, because you can get level 8 monsters on the field so fast, I decided to go with Gimmick Puppet Giant Grinder because of special summon monster removal, and a lot of people play XYZ monsters these days, so he's a really good card to use. And Felgrand. Felgrand's always a good level rank 8 to use because he pretty much negates effects from happening to any card on the field, which people usually just target himself, which is always really good idea because he's a 2800 attack beat stick. Well, that's Agents, guys. Hope you like it.